What is up, guys? My name is Caleb, and welcome back to another installment of Behind the Legacy. This is the series where we try to give you behind-the-scenes look at everything OTK, and my hope is to leave a digital diary of sorts for our new fans to be able to go back and see the progress and the journey that we have been on to get to where we are, but also for those of you that are pursuing your own dreams and passions to hopefully be challenged and encouraged as I go through the good, the bad, and the ugly of growing something from the ground up. So today is a very exciting day because it is our last day of preparation before our launch tomorrow. So it is June 30th, and I am anxious and excited and pumped about tomorrow, the big launch. You know, I've been working on so much of this content for the last 4 or 5 months, and this has been a dream of mine for almost 5 years now, and it seems surreal that this is the moment. Tomorrow we launch. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared, but I can't wait to see what comes out of this entire process and this organization, the community that we build. Tomorrow, not only do we launch, but our very first creative project goes live at 2 p.m. on our YouTube channel. It's actually a video that I created to introduce you guys a little bit to one of our team members, my wife, Desiree. She has a powerful testimony and story that I think is going to touch your guys' life and give you a different perspective on the issue of being pro-life. So I hope that if you haven't watched that, you'll go back and watch it. Even if you're watching this video 10 years from this point, go back and watch where we started, and hopefully our media is even better and our creative projects are even bigger. But that's really exciting. I hope that even if it changes one person's mind about the decision to choose life, it'll be more than worth it. Not only that, but this upcoming Tuesday is our very first 2-Minute Tuesday, the show where I try to talk about current events and things that are going on that interest me in 2 minutes or less, and I ask for your guys' feedback and opinion. I got a brand new set ordered and in place for that show specifically. We also are starting IGTV, which is really a kind of new ground that we're breaking. It's maybe old news depending on when you're watching this video, but Instagram basically launched a competitor to YouTube. Hopefully it will last, who knows. But we're going to be releasing exclusive content on that platform for our Instagram followers, so make sure that you are following there. I also had the opportunity to be on my very first podcast as an interviewee. I've done a lot of interviewing in preparation for launch for our podcast, but this is the very first time that somebody asked if they could interview me and talk to me about what it is that OneTrueKing is all about. And that was kind of nerve-wracking, sitting there in front of the microphone and answering those questions, hoping that I didn't say something incredibly stupid. So that was incredible. All those things were good things. Oh, and on this Friday, we launched our first episode of the OTK podcast, just discussing who we are and what we hope to accomplish, giving you guys some of the backstory about where I'm coming from and the vision that I have and why I started all of this. So I hope that everyone will tune into that and really dig that content. I know I've been working really hard on so many of these things, but that's kind of the good. I always promise that I will share kind of the bad/ugly with you as I go through this journey. So while things have been overwhelmingly positive, we have hit some roadblocks. You know, one of the big frustrating ones, and I hope that this won't be an issue for content creators in the future, so you may not have any idea what I'm talking about a few years from now when you're watching this video, but there was a big scandal with the Trump election where Facebook believes that Russia was able to swing the election in his favor and using Facebook ads. And so they're kind of tightening down what it means to market on Facebook and obviously Instagram, since Facebook owns Instagram. And the problem is that because I use words like conservative, they are marking me as a political organization. They're not letting me run ads the way that I want to, because they're deeming me a political organization, and they're asking me to basically categorize myself on their site as a political organization. And what that would mean is not only do I have to give them some of my personal information, like my social security number, some of the business background stuff, but it also means that when people search us, they would be told that we're a political organization. And probably the worst thing of all is that when we run ads, Facebook will be putting a disclaimer that it is a politically motivated ad. And the reason that's a big deal to me is I'm not a political organization. That's not what OTK Media is about. When I say conservative, I'm talking about a moral and an ethical perspective. I'm not trying to convince anybody to be Republican. I'm trying to convince people to think differently. And so it's frustrating when Facebook and Instagram don't let us run the ads we want to run, claiming that we're a political organization. So basically, I've had to run every ad 6 or 7 times, 6 or 7 different ways before I found one that they would approve, and that's just costing me a lot of time and a lot of money. And so that's been one big hurdle that we've been trying to overcome, is how to move forward. And obviously, that's also a big kind of philosophical question that we're trying to answer right now is, where are we going to fit? Because I've been in communications with some political groups about me coming in and doing some speaking in different things, and they're kind of like, well, are you a political group? Are you a religious group? And it's like, I like to talk to you guys about everything that is shaping the world, and sometimes that's going to include politics. But I want to talk a lot about culture and society and the way that we think. I'm not trying to sway somebody right or left politically. I'm trying to sway them morally or ethically into what I think is best for them. And so there's even been some difficulty of trying to get people to understand exactly what our goal is. Because the second you talk about politics, they assume that you're a political organization, and so that can be a little bit rough. But I want to give a word of encouragement. If you are trying to launch your own thing, if you're trying to grow a brand or grow an organization, I would just encourage you to test those kind of things. Know those problems going in before it becomes something much bigger, because it's going to take a lot of patience. I know I can be impatient. I get really, really frustrated sometimes that things take longer than they do, but I encourage you to just stick with it and work at it, because I promise it'll all work out. So for the purpose of kind of documenting our journey, I wanted to share exactly where we are on our Patreon and our social media. So right now we have one Patreon. Thank you so much, one Patreon supporter. You're absolutely incredible. We have just over 250 followers on Facebook. We're pushing close to 100 followers on Instagram. I think we're like 87. And we are at 52 subscribers on YouTube. Now, what's interesting about that, and I'll give you a little tip in case you're launching something of your own, it's really hard to get over that hurdle. Instagram and YouTube make it hard for smaller creators. So I'll give you an example. YouTube doesn't give you your own custom URL until you hit 100 subscribers, which means you can't say, hey, check out my YouTube page at youtube.com/OTK Media. If somebody wants to find your YouTube page, you have to give them the YouTube/ZYX243, the full URL, and that can be a real pain in the issue of marketing and branding, because unless somebody has the patience, which a lot of people don't, to copy and paste and that kind of thing, it's harder to get people to your YouTube page. And not only that, but they don't index you for search, so it's a lot harder for people to find you organically. And Instagram is the same way. There's a lot of analytics that they don't let you get to until you hit 100. And so understand that that's going to be your hardest. I've been absolutely flabbergasted at the fact that some of those channels haven't grown faster. And so when I started to dig into why, those were the kinds of things that I immediately was faced with. Not that that's a terrible thing. You can get over that. You can get 100. But what most people don't know is that if you hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, you're in the top 5% of subscribers, which means 95% of people that have YouTube channels never reach 100 subscribers. And so that's kind of the big hump that you got to get over. But it is possible. We're growing. We haven't even launched yet. And we got 52 subscribers. So I do know it is possible. I hope to be at 100 by the next time that I am recording one of these videos here in a couple of weeks, giving you some feedback about our launch. But that's been exciting to have so many subscribers, and a lot of them I don't know. A lot of them just random people that through our ads and different things have found us and said that they wanted to come alongside and watch the journey. And so the last closing thought that I have for you, and this applies to life and applies to growing a business or an organization or anything like that, come in with as little expectation and as much hope as possible. I've been really surprised because the people that I thought would have been my biggest fans and my biggest supporters and been the first to, subscribe or the first to whatever, haven't been the ones that have really jumped in with me. It's been the people that I would have least expected People that I wouldn't have said I was really, really close to a lot of the time. So there are obviously some exceptions, but the people that have shocked me have been the majority, not the minority. And the people that I thought would be more interested haven't been. And that's okay. This is not a pity party thing for me. I just want you guys to understand that people are strange, and you can't come in with any level of expectation as far as how well things are going to do or how people are going to respond. You have to have hope. You can't assume that everyone that you know is not going to give a crap about anything that you're doing, but you have to come in hoping that they will, and being able to create quality content that they're going to be excited about and they're going to want to join in the journey with you. But don't expect anything. Let yourself be pleasantly surprised the way that I have been by some of the people that I haven't spoken to in years, and yet have shared a lot of my posts and liked my stuff and all of that. So thank you so much for coming on this journey. Tomorrow we launch. Seems unreal. So this is the last pre-launch video that I'm going to make in the Behind the Legacy series. I appreciate you being a part of all of this. I love you guys very much, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.